Are we ready for another potential Windrush scandal? 700 Afghans lost by a Home Office could face Windrush-style deportations. We're going to read into this more from Open Democracy, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Open Democracy with the headline that 700 Afghans lost by the Home Office could face Windrush deportation style. The government's poor data management could lead to a repeat of Windrush scandal, warns a report by the sacked Inspector David Neal. Guys, while you're here, before I give my initial thoughts, if you can, hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. 700 people, guys, 700 people have completely gone off the record and could face deportation. We talked about here on this channel, for those who don't know, about the shambolic handling that the Home Office has on the immigration system. It has been nothing short of pathetic from the Home Office. However, I will say this though, and this is a really important caveat for people to understand as well, is that we remember the austerities that we have gone through, but we also have to remember that a lot of these civil servants, including the Home Office, suffered cuts as a result of this Conservative government. So they have cut civil service, which means that there are less staff, which means they've got more work on their plates than they normally have. Now, obviously, they have brought it back a little bit to try and help with the to help clear with for regards to the asylum backlog. But for the last couple of 6 months or so, I do say yes, government's poor data management is definitely a spot on, because they have rushed a lot of processes and applications as well. And there have been many cases that those who are supposed to obviously go through paperwork and files and whatnot, and guess what, the Home Office just ends up misplacing it, or loses those people, or loses the information, and they end up just disappearing within the UK. And this is just poor handling, poor management in all regards. And like I said, I can't fully blame the civil servant. I do think that not only this pathetic Home Secretary in James Cleverly has been, and the way he's been running it has been shambolic, but I think it's fair to say that the last Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, obsessed with this whole stupid Rwanda bill, not actually getting to grips with the immigration issue whatsoever. Now, I know obviously I have some people who've come across my channel who are huge members of Reform, and if you generally think, I'm here to tell you that Reform will not fix the immigration problem. I mean, you can cast your vote with them if you generally think that they're going to believe, if you generally believe that they are actually going to fix this immigration problem. Now, are Labour going to fix it? Are they going to fix it? We honestly don't know. But I tell you what, if I've got to choose, probably going to end up picking Labour, yeah, to give them at least something. Because Yvette Cooper, whatever you might think of Yvette Cooper, guys, she has been level-headed as a shadow Home Secretary throughout the countless changes in Home Secretaries from the other side, from the government's point of view. She has her head on, and it's screwed on. And I actually think, yeah, that she will actually do a better job than James Cleverly, then Suella Braverman, and then whoever was Home Secretaries before. I think, yeah, she will get a grip on this. I generally do. But coming back to this, this here, guys, we don't need more headaches like this. We don't want another Windrush style. Do we really want this? No, I don't think anyone really wants this. But unfortunately, we have a shambolic Home Office, a shambolic government, a shambolic Prime Minister, and we would really, really like that general election sometime soon, please, Prime Minister. So the Home Office has lost track of around 700 Afghans it evacuated to the UK, sparking fears that it could be wrongly deported in a repeat of the Windrush scandal. A newly released report by the former Borders and Immigration Inspector David Neal has revealed that the Home Office does not have a single, accurate data set of Afghans it has resettled in the UK. The department pledged to improve its data management after the 2018 Windrush scandal, when it emerged that hundreds of Commonwealth migrants had been denied their legal right, with many wrongly deported because the Home Office failed to record that they had permission to stay in the UK. People who came to the UK on the government's Afghan resettlement scheme could now face a similar scenario, according to a report by Neal, who was sacked by the Home Secretary last week. The report warned that there is significant risk that there may be no record of someone having been relocated to the UK and later being found to have no permission to enter to remain in the UK. It adds that the Home Office staff fear that this could lead to Afghans being wrongly found to have illegally entered the UK. They reportedly told inspectors, "We don't want the impact of immigration policy on the Windrush generation, to happen again." And this is the issue. This could have been avoided, and we know it. The new report is one of 13 by Neal last year that the Home Office published yesterday. The department held the papers back despite having agreed to publish them within 8 weeks. 2 more remain unpublished. Holding out, aren't they? Neal told the Times that his frustration with the lengthy delays to the publication of his reports forced him to instead tell the media about alleged border security failings. The government said this amounted to a breach of his contract and fired him. Yeah, but you guys would... Wow. That's pretty horrible. The government launched the Afghan resettlement scheme in January 2022 to resettle people at risk of persecution from the Taliban due to their work with or for the UK in Afghanistan. Some 15,000 people, including around 3,000 British citizens, were evacuated from Afghanistan in the 2 weeks following the Taliban's takeover of the country in August 2021. Home Office staff told the inspectorates that they had to resort to individual phoning some of these people to ask about their immigration status. On one occasion, the Home Office accidentally granted indefinite permission to remain to a British citizen. Neal's report also reveals that none of the Home Office risk assessments list the potential impact of the hard-to-reach coherent becoming subject to enforcement action as a result of poor data and record keeping. This was despite senior managers being aware of this risk, it added. Some 12,000 Afghans have been granted leave to remain in the UK under resettlement schemes to date, according to data published by the Home Office yesterday. Neal's report also found that Rishi Sunak's demands that the Home Office stop using hotels to temporarily house asylum seekers that have led to hundreds of at-risk Afghans being left stranded in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Inspectors have said that the department knew the decisions to pause rescuing Afghans to avoid paying for their accommodation in the UK was a secret policy that could be unlawful, but went ahead anyway because of the pressure from the Prime Minister. Yeah, this is I have spoken about this policy before on my channel about this policy about us bringing back some Afghans. Because of the work that we've done in Afghanistan, guys, and obviously they're trying to bring down the numbers, so they're looking to any kind of way to slow it down or to stop the numbers in any way, shape, or form, and they're having trouble doing that. And we are still also, remember, it's important to highlight that we're still taking people from Hong Kong and Ukraine as well, to remember to take those into account when you think about the immigration numbers. The Home Office was criticised for failing to communicate to the Afghans waiting to be brought to the UK that it had paused its resettlement scheme. Yeah, that was a lot of things. Some of them had been waiting years and they were told nothing. Then they'd been kept waiting while their lives are living in fear of being caught by the Taliban. Inspectors also raised concerns that the Home Office was failing to take steps to bring the most vulnerable Afghans, including women and girls, to the UK. Afghans still trapped in Afghanistan are required to travel to Pakistan to submit biometric data before they can be issued a UK visa. The report said that the requirement was made more difficult for women and girls to be resettled because their movements are restricted by the Taliban. Last year, Open Democracy reported that our Home Office refused a biometric waiver for a former lawyer being hunted by the Taliban for previously prosecuting its members. The Home Office admitted to inspectors that there was no formal process available to request a biometric waiver. So what are they supposed to do? Again, like why are these things happening? It's just so infuriating. It's just grinds my gears. It really, really does. You know, once again, the government not getting a grip, not getting a handle on the situation. Again, innocent people, people who are really vulnerable could find themselves dead tomorrow if they're caught by the Taliban or whatnot out there. This should not be happening. This really should not be happening. The government doesn't have control of immigration. I think it's fair to say. I think everyone agrees that the government has lost control of this. But the scheme was set up because of the cooperation and work that we've done in Afghanistan. Whether you agree or disagree with the what's happened in Afghanistan, and I know, and I like myself didn't think we should have been out there in the first place in those conflicts. However, we there are many Afghans out there, at the time, who really contributed to saved the lives of many British soldiers, and some of them have not been able to come back to the UK as well. Most of them have Afghans who helped Britain, because obviously the Taliban would, if they knew they were working with the British and working for the British or whatnot. So yeah, I know, pretty it's a pretty crap situation, to say the least. But what do you guys think? What do you make of this story from Open Democracy about 700 Afghans? The potential of another Windrush style deportation system could be on the cards. Let me know what you guys think about this and more in the comment section down below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button, we greatly appreciate. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and financially support me in the work I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or even joining me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very soon.